just in summary, we're convening tonight under the governor's executive orders that allow an exception to the open meetings law to allow everyone to convene via video conferencing. And a more elaborate statement will be provided in the minutes.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the meeting has been
the open meetings law to allow everyone.
Right. And the meeting's been noticed, and we're going to have a transcript, and it'll be available for the public, and all the documents that we're going to be exploring this evening are available at town hall, etc. So trying to tighten it up a little bit here. Okay, we'll bring the meeting to order, and our first item is a decision item. This is on Lamini. The applicant has requested us to take a look at their request to let them begin to look at and perform work on Sorrel Street, which is part of the approvals. So it would require some amendments to our prior approvals, to the prior resolution, excuse me. And I think when we last met with the applicant last time around, we all agreed that this would be a good thing to do to permit the applicant to move forward. And I think Bob Seeley raised the issue that this is better timing to do it now, in as much as the asphalt plants might be closing, and if asphalt is necessary, we need to move this forward sooner than later if we want to get it done before the winter. So, applicant Brad, is there anything else you want to add?
Perfect summary, Mr. Chairman. I'm good.
Okay,
That's
thank you very much. Okay. Any questions, thoughts from members of the board?
I have no problem with it.
Okay. Tom, Eldad?
I'm fine.
Makes sense.
Okay. And Sabrina, we're okay with this? Bob's okay with it, right?
Yes.
And Jennifer, you've excised the appropriate resolution spots. If you recall, last time you gave me a statement to read, which had all the changes that were going to be made, which would never have been identified by me over several weeks, but that was very good. Thank you.
Yes, yeah, we took all the appropriate conditions out of the original
Right.
resolution and imported them to
Right.
this resolution.
Okay. All right. So Brad, you've had a chance to look at it. You're okay with it?
We have, yep, all good.
Great. Without any other discussion, is there a motion then to adopt this amended resolution so that we can move forward with this this aspect of the application and the applicant's work?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Dick?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Eldad?
Aye.
And I'm aye, so that's 4-0, so that's carried, and off we go. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you to the applicant.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nice of you to
thank you.
drop by.
I'll see you on the other meeting.
This sure saves driving up, doesn't it? And our next item is a request for an extension of approval. This is the Sunshine Children's Home and Rehabilitation Center, Spring Valley Road LLC and MSAF Group LLC. This is a request for an extension for wetland permits, steep slope permit, tree removal permit, stormwater pollution prevention plan approvals at 15 Spring Valley Road. My understanding, the applicant has begun work. Construction is underway, but they do not anticipate that they will complete this work within the time frame of the approvals. So therefore, they're looking for maximum extensions of each of these permits that would otherwise lapse. So Sabrina, any issues, problems?
Not on our
Okay.
end, no.
Okay.
Annie, do you want to add anything to that?
Hi, good evening. Annie Klein I'm an associate at Dalbello, Donnell and Weingarten, Mize and Whitaker. No, the steep slopes, as far as that goes, where the main building is going to be, they have finished all the excavation there. There's just limited amounts of work that still needs to be done for drainage purposes and other steep slope areas. And as far as the wetlands, they've been spraying the Phragmites and trying to get rid of the Phragmites before they can do the wetland mitigation. So they're still working on that. Now is not really the time of year to continue doing that. So they're going to have to wait until next spring to do that again. So But, they're looking to complete within a year. The steel will all be up by the end of November, so things are moving ahead.
Okay. Very good. Any questions from board members on this application and this request for an extension?
Nope.
I looked up Phragmites and now I know, so I'm good.
It's not part of an explosion. Okay. Is there a motion then to move the request forward for the extension as requested?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Dick?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
And Eldad?
Aye.
And I'm aye, so that's 4-0. Motion's carried.
Great. Thanks so much.
Welcome.
You're welcome. Very good.
Record time, guys.
7 minutes.
Well, now you have enough time to fiddle around with trying to log into the public hearing.
Yep.
If anyone has any problems, text me.
I'd like to ask about, since we're going to be taking a look at the DGEIS in presentation, I've already been through it in text form. Do we want to set some sort of a review schedule for us that gets the work done in time to be of use to the town board in their review process?
I agree.
I think it's a great suggestion. I think that would be, it might be helpful to the town board, but I think it would be a useful task.
Well, in that again, we're sort of an interested party. I think there's an obligation to do it. But if we don't do it on the schedule of the town board, there's no obligation for them to hold things up and wait for us to catch up. So I think we probably ought to, get a hold of this early rather than later.
So, Sabrina, what's there's the hearing tonight, there's a hearing in a week, and is there a schedule beyond that?
There is a discussion of continuing the hearing to November 4th. It really is going to depend on whether or not different comments come in. There will most definitively be a 10-day period for receipt of comment after the close of the public hearing. So it really depends. I mean, are you interested in setting up separate workshops for the board to kind of workshop through it, not necessarily at a meeting, but more of a workshop? How do you guys propose kind of going through it and formulating your comments?
Well, whether it's a workshop or whatever we call it, it would still be a meeting. So we would have to,
We would notice it, absolutely. But again, are we looking at trying to find an evening to workshop it, or day meetings? Kind of what is everyone's pleasure with that?
Well, I think from my take just now listening about the possible town board schedule, we don't meet again until November 4th. So maybe the first thing that we might want to consider is just a note to the town board saying we would, on something of this scope and size, we would hope that they would actually hold a public hearing over more than just these 2 sessions. And more importantly, hold the comment period much longer than 10 days. Now, whenever we've done that, I think we've customarily gone to 20, 30 days to accommodate the public. 10 days, it seems to me, is very short, but that's just one person.
That's the minimum that is required. I can't answer as to whether or not that's what they're going to do.
No, I understand that, but I think that we might want to even make that recommendation at this point to give them some feel administratively where we might be. I think there's some substantive issues that might be raised that would perhaps require that kind of time to really get the questions down appropriately, et cetera.
I'd like to return to our posture. I want to say posture. That's a little bit much. Our position as interested party, as not just a single person, but as a board.
Right.
That the timing of the opening of the public hearing, which is tonight, which is coincident with our meeting, our required public meeting on our issues, and then the possibility of closing the public hearing at their next meeting really doesn't give an interested party, interested board, I would think, time to actually adequately respond. Because we don't even get a meeting between now and then.
Oh, unless we schedule, to Sabrina's
Yes.
point, unless we want to schedule something.
Right, unless we schedule something.
Mhm.
But again, they're assuming that we're going to schedule something. And maybe in our work on this thing, we need more than, we need more than one meeting. I guess I'm only suggesting that that it's not unreasonable for us as an interested party, an interested board, to ask for, a little bit more time than maybe what they're thinking of. And again, Sabrina, I know that you can't predict what they're going to do. None of us can. But and I know they're very sensitive to the notion of the moratorium, the idea, the fact that the moratorium is going on. But so I'd be a little bit surprised, however, if they rush this through. But I wonder if, if we want to just alert them to the fact that we need to do our work too. I don't know where to go with this, because I don't want to.
Well, what that would be, what you were speaking of is a memo that you would like to draft tonight to the town board as lead agency, requesting additional time to review the DGEIS with specific points regarding your concern that you don't have another meeting scheduled between now and next week, and that you would like some more time to coalesce your comments as a board, as an interested agency regarding the subject matter.
So we should give them a time frame then.
Correct.
So
And-
Sabrina, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So just so I understand, the 10-day period, which is the minimum that's required, starts after they close the hearing,
Correct.
and at minimum, the hearing will be closed on the 27th.
If they've been talking about a November 4th hearing at a different time of day.
Right. So, but even if they close after next week, that 10 days after that is November 6th.
Correct.
What I'm getting at is that, at minimum, there's 3 weeks, a little less than 3 weeks from now. And from what you're saying, if November 4th, that's an additional week on top of that. And so it seems like there is certainly some time to have these discussions. I agree with Tom that as interested parties, I think I'm sure that the town board would welcome our input as a board, although I do worry that it will not be as unanimous as some of our other takes on some of these issues. I'm open. I just don't, my point is, I don't know that we need to petition for more time if we don't need more time. If the town board is getting pressure from all kinds of places, I just don't know that we need to press them if it's not necessary. If it's necessary, I'm absolutely on board with that.
Well,
And I leave that to the board to decide. Right now the town board has made no decisions. We are in the point in the process of reviewing the DGEIS where comments from interested agencies and the public are being submitted and will be responded to in the FGEIS. So again, I'm not sure if you're looking to make comment or you would just like opinions heard.
Well, that's an interesting point, because comments and opinions, I'm not sure that there's really a distinction between the two. The point that I like, that I think you're making, is whether we want them to be heard. And the 10-day period after the close of the public hearing is to submit comments.
Correct.
Right? Written comments. Unless I'm mistaken, there is no obligation of the town board upon receipt of those comments to discuss them in a public meeting.
No.
And so I guess what I'm saying is that to be certain that if it occurs that there are significant comments that we have that we believe actually need to be a matter of public discussion in their during their board meetings, to make a comment into the board meeting, public meeting on it, then we would need to be able to have our work done by the 4th, assuming that that's the night that they're going to close it. So I'm not saying that we can't do it by the 4th.
So I wouldn't expect, I don't think it's reasonable to expect that the town board is going to discuss your comments or any comment that it receives as part of the public comment process. The town board intends to pretty much sit and listen, and the response to the comments comes in the FEIS.
Fair enough, understood. But yes, I would want them to sit and listen. And I would like everybody to actually sit and listen, right? And we know that they're listening, and that everybody would be able to, the town or the participants, the public in the public meeting would be able to sit and listen to the planning board's take on this, because I think that that's an important function of ours.
Sure.
And so I'm not suggesting you can't do it by the 4th, but I think that it's more than one meeting, because I suspect what's going to happen is we're going to go through this, and then there are going to be some disagreements, so on and so forth, which is natural. And we will end up having to draft a memorandum, and then we're going to have to review the memorandum. So if we can do that in, a couple of sessions between now and then, or one session, and then polish up the draft just by email, that's fine with me. I think it could probably be done if we commit to having a meeting like earlier rather than later in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, so with that said, you would need to schedule a special meeting to address this. And, if, we need to notice that meeting, we can notice it. If you want to schedule something late next week, we will have enough time to notice it. If you'd like to do it, that's kind of the week that you would do it in. So I would ask for you guys to look at your schedules and see if there is a time next week that you guys can get together where we can listen and help you go through your issues and formulate a draft letter that can be circulated amongst you for comment in preparation of submission under the town board schedule. Okay. And then at that meeting, to be quite honest with you, if you feel that we'll have a better sense of timing, because it would be the second public hearing is on the 27th, and we'll know if the town board is continuing it to the 4th. We'll have more information from the town board as to what their thinking is. So, we can go from there. But I think that the first step is for you guys to set a date and a time for a special meeting to discuss this.
Okay. I have no blind spots and no evenings. The only day that's a little rough for me are Tuesdays. Everything else is fine.
Does Thursday the 29th look okay?
For me, yes.
For everyone else, or
yeah,
or even Wednesday the 28th? Again, I guess in partially in response to Eldad, in addition to meeting and trying to get some sort of coalesced ideas out, we also run into staff issues. So they help us with the draft, and meanwhile we have November 4th. I believe we have Chapel Crossing. This could be on the November 4th
17th.
Oh, they moved back to the 17th now?
They're moved on the 17th.
Okay. Do we have much going?
If I'm wrong, it's the 17th, correct?
Yes. I believe it's the 17th, Sabrina.
Good.
Yeah,
okay.
It's the 17th. And so here's the thing. On Wednesday, there are zoning board meetings. So if we're looking for a daytime meeting or even an early evening meeting, a couple of hours, we run into issues with not being able to Zoom due to other board meetings.
Right.
On other nights. So what I would ask is that you look at your schedules for a time that is, either in the afternoon or between the 4 and 6 p.m. window, so that we are not interfering with other Zooms that are occurring.
Well, are there any Zooms going on Thursday?
Thursday works for me, and it sounds like it works for everyone.
I'm presenting at the WOMF seminar that night. If you need me there, I would not be able to be there Thursday. I think you're in capable hands with Sabrina. But I just want to let you know I'm not available that night.
Okay.
All right. So the question is everyone able to meet at 7 on that Thursday?
Yeah, I would say 7 or 6:30 or 7, whatever works best for folks. I'm happy to accommodate.
6:30 is fine for me. I mean, I'm open anytime that night.
Is that too early for dinner for folks or not? Or
6:30 is fine.
so why don't we schedule?
Earlier is always better, and I'm free.
Yeah,
Okay.
earlier is better for me too, if I had to throw
Okay.
it out there.
Got homework. Okay. So why don't we schedule then a special meeting for a week from this Thursday, the 29th, 6:30. And I think that's a very good thing to do. I frankly still would be very supportive of sending a note to the town board, even at this stage, to articulate the notion that, we've all been through scopes, we've all been through EISs. It's very, very unusual for this town to close the comment period within 10 days. I can't recall ever that we've done it as a planning board. I can't even recall the town board ever doing it. And this town has got a long tradition of trying to accommodate as many folks as possible to get input and comment. So obviously they can ignore that. 10 days seems to be the statutory minimum, but anything longer than that, 20, 30 days, whatever, I think would be a nice gesture to all the interested parties, including us, as well as to the public. I think they're going to hear that requirement or that request from the public anyway, night after night after night. So
if it's the board's pleasure, Felicia can take the notes that she's taken and turn them into a draft memo. Jen and I, of course, will look at it before it's sent to the chairman. And Bob, if you're comfortable signing off on that, we can get that together within the next couple of days to get to the town board.
I think that would be good to do, just to try to get some breathing room out there. Because these 10 days, and even we have the 4th and then the 17th, it gets tight. It just we lose weekends, etc.
Right, and there's the elections are coming up, the whole 9 yards. So if I may, and I don't mean to rush you all, I think that you should kind of direct staff to do that, all agree to directing staff to do that, and then authorize the chairman for signature of a draft letter as approved by him, so that we can process that relatively quickly for you.
Very good.
Sound fair?
Yep.
Okay. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Okay. Thanks, Eldad. Dick?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Eldad?
Aye.
And I'm aye. So that's 4. Very good.
A question
Okay.
before
Yes,
we
sir.
go. One question. Sabrina, is there any chance we can get hard copy covers of these documents, or do I have to print, all 6,000 sheets all by myself?
We had limited printed. I will see if I have an extra.
Thank you.
And I will let you know. Okay.
You let me know. I'll come and pick it up in an envelope or something that you.
Let me see if we have one lying around. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, folks. I'm sorry to rush off.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. All right. Is there a motion to close the meeting?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.